I had to make a new channel because my old channel, well, a bunch of stuff happened, and as a apology, I'm gonna be releasing 2 theory videos today in a row. So, hopefully you guys will forgive me. Well, all, like, 9 of you. Alright, first theory we're gonna talk about is, what if Jonathan Joestar survived the boat crash because of that was caused by Dio Brando? Let's get into it. And most of this will be talking about part 2, so expect a lot of part 2 talk. Just sign everyone here, and we'll get into things. We'll get into the theory. There we go, good stage. Now, here's what I think would happen. First, we should probably note that the whole boat survival thing with Lisa and the other baby, George Joestar II, it was already bullshit. So let's just go ahead and say that Jonathan survived that way too, like an extra coffin just for the hell of it. Yep, just 3 coffins in the bottom of a boat, a cruise boat. Let's just go with that. Alright, now, hold on, let's look at this. It's nice. Nice. I love those little taglines they have with each other. Now, what would happen? What would change? I think that Joseph Joestar and George Joestar, actually, first, let's start with him. I think George Joestar would be still alive and not die from the zombie that killed him. Because Joseph would be around, my fault. Jonathan would be around to teach him Hamon, and why would you not learn Hamon? Lisa probably would not learn Hamon because, well, she's a peaceful wife, and her husband can defend himself, so what's the need? No need to learn Hamon. Now, the whole Straitso ordeal, that would not happen because Jonathan's around to take care of everyone. And being the great man Jonathan is, he'd treat Lisa like his own. Hold on, I'm tailing down cars here. He would treat Lisa like his other own baby. Now, with Lisa not learning Hamon, that's already changed a lot. And George, or Jorge, however you pronounce it, learning Hamon is also changing a lot. Joseph would, my fault, I keep wanting to say Joseph, they look so similar in the video. Jonathan would teach Joseph the art of Hamon while still being young, physically that is. Because when you keep up with the art of Hamon, your bones and all that goodness stay young. So Jonathan would retain his youthful look. However, Joseph would still be a little bit of a reckless cause, still be a little bit of a troublemaker, but not near as much as he normally would be with Jonathan around. I think a lot of things would change in Joseph's personality. He'd be more cautious, be more smart, I think be a little more tactful, and he would have another reason to fight the Pillarmen. Joseph loves his family, and with another family member to support the whole patriarch of the Joestar family, that's even more of a reason to fight the Pillarmen with everything he's got. Now, here's another thing. I think Caesar and Joseph would be meeting at a much earlier age, maybe around teenage years, because Jonathan would find out about Caesar and find out about his ill will towards the Joestars, and Jonathan would want to rectify that, so he would change Caesar's view of the Joestars because of the whole William Zeppeli death ordeal. And Joseph would, or Jonathan, my fault, Jonathan would take him in and live with Joseph. Things would be going normal until Straitso informed Speedwagon about the Pillarmen and their existence and stone masks. Everything would go the same, except this time Joseph and Caesar are there to fight Straitso together, along with possibly Jonathan. I'm not sure. Jonathan probably would want to test his students, also his sons, or grandsons, my fault. He would want to test his grandsons to see just how powerful they are against a vampire, now that they have actual experience. But the problem is, how are they going to fight a family member? Caesar, I don't see having a problem with this, but Joseph would be a little bit flustered or a little bit confused and in between, like he was in the actual series. Whoa, I cannot let him come perfect. Now, back to this theory. I think everything would play out the same, but with the inclusion of Caesar. And possibly Smokey wouldn't be as close because of Caesar's mean attitude. He probably would not want to converse with Joseph as much with the mean-spirited, quote-unquote, brother around. But I do think that Smokey would still stick around. You can't judge a book by its cover, especially if the book's, let's say, sequel is a dig. Alright, that match was bigger than I thought. But, back to the theory. I think everything would be going the same, and then they would go to Mexico, but to check on Speedwagon to see if he's still alive. They would fight Santana, all three of them this time, because Jonathan, my fault. Jonathan is worried about the Pillarmen and their strength. So he's gonna go check everything out and go along with the Pillarmen fight. But this time Caesar will be there too, so the Santana fight will be even more easier. Where is ACDC? There he is. Now, the fight with Santana will be even more easy, and they probably would not get as much information out of him as they would want, because, well, there's 3 Hamo Masters there. Why would they need to get as much info? My fault. Stroheim would probably be a little bit disappointed with the fact that he can't have Santana anymore, but he would have been thankful in the end because Stroheim is a pretty honorable man, even though he's a Nazi. Now, here's the meat and bones of things. Everything would still continue normally, I believe, until they get to the part where the Pillarmen awaken. There is where I think Jonathan will be severely wounded for a while. By possibly Wamu, I would like to say ACDC or Cars, but I don't see them wanting to be fighting with such a riffraff in the very beginning. So, Wamu would be fighting Jonathan. Meanwhile, Joseph and Caesar are probably trying to egg on ACDC and trying to get him to battle, but he's just ignoring their taunts. Marco would die, or was it Mark? I'm not sure. Marco would die. Caesar would be frustrated and go at Wamu like he did last time, saving Joseph's life in the process. But the real problem is that now Jonathan is severely wounded. He's almost dead. And the 3 Pillarmen admire them and say, "Wow, there's a match for each of them." So they assign themselves with their own little Hamon fight. Wamu for Joseph, ACDC for Caesar, and Jonathan for Cars. They will continue their training, but with George there too, just to help, because, well, 4 training partners is better than none. And George would probably be more of a support in here, and would be helping out with the small fry zombies instead of the big 3 Pillarmen. And I honestly don't see Stroheim, well, needing the cybernetic enhancements with the Redstone of Asia and all that, and the UV light, because, well, Santana was defeated almost instantaneously. Hold on, let me charge my ammo. There we go. Now, the thing is, I think that Jonathan would have ended up losing against Cars. Not saying that he can't defeat a Pillarman in a ripe old age and still perfecting up his Hamon, and he's got sparring partners that are his youthful grandsons. It's just that I think that Cars will be a little bit stronger than for too weak for Cars. Now, I think Joseph and Caesar would finish it off with a cool combo attack like this here, but on Cars. And here, that's what I think would happen with Jonathan being alive. A lot more preparation, a lot less preparation needed. Instead of the typical 33 days, I think, it's cut down to, let's say, 2 weeks. So it's much less time, but much more effect, because they have a Hamon Master in their presence. Joseph would have a better relationship with Caesar. Joseph would know his mother. He would know Jorge. He would know everything. Let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of this fight. If I win, that is. Don't enjoy the fight. I honestly don't use any Hamon Masters that much at all. I'm usually sticking with Part 8 characters. Some of my favorite in this game. I do like this dual heat attack though. It's one of my favorites. There we go. He's almost finished. Let's pull out the Tommy gun. Now, since I have such downtime with this short little theory, I wanted to tell you guys about a little random series that I'm thinking of doing, like random matches, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Eyes of Heaven, the game I'm playing right now, like little random matches, just like clicking all random and then just talking about things I like, and maybe other things like that. Tell me guys what you think. I'll see you guys next time. Poetic Prophet signing off. And expect another video today as a little consolation for having to terminate my old channel. Thank you. Merry Christmas Eve, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. Goodbye. Poetic Prophet signing off.